The 2020 agriculture meeting season begins with the Midwest iHemp Expo. The Great Lakes Crop Summit is on tap for the end of January, and Michigan Agricultural Commodities Chris Betts will join us with a market update. I'm Janelle Brose, and this is Farm News 5.
Farm News 5 is brought to you by Ford.
Hemp was the breakout crop of 2019, and that momentum is carrying into 2020 with a number of meetings coming up to help growers get the most out of hemp production in the new year. The first is the Midwest iHemp Expo, which will be held January 10th and 11th at the Lansing Center in downtown Lansing.
The Midwest iHemp Expo is our opportunity to pull together all the resources to have a successful harvest for the 2020 growing season. We learned a lot during the research phase this year. And it looks like we're going to be doing research again under the rules for 2020. But we're going to have more opportunity to plan and prepare. So we have seeds, seedlings, equipment, testing, everything that someone would need to get into the industry. Even if you didn't want to grow, you wanted to be involved in the CBD side. We have people that are talking about the CBD end of things, which is not what we want to focus on totally. It's not all about CBD. We are looking at grain and fiber and all the cool things that the crop can do for the future. So it's all part of the expo, and it's one-stop shop, 2 days intensive. We have over 77 exhibitors, 50 speakers. It's a ton of content. So in 2 days you can really prepare for the season. At any one time, we have 4 of these rooms going with speakers, and we've tried to lay them out in such a way so there's more of a clear path for someone that's interested in growing versus someone that's interested in a business service side versus someone that just wants to learn about CBD. We have 4 or 5 different equipment manufacturers. One of them's a sponsor, Formation Ag, out of Colorado, that they're engineers, and they've developed some harvesting equipment specifically for the CBD crops and such. They claim that, and this is just kind of a side note, 6 guys, 800 acres, 2 weeks to harvest, which is really cool. So I'm excited to see these different equipment manufacturers. We also have some farmers, farmers here from the Midwest that are going to have CBD flower and CBD products for sale. We have seedlings, seed suppliers, insurance companies that are specifically for the industrial hemp industry. So, the idea is, with over 70 exhibitors, it's seed to sale.
You can learn more and register for the event at MidwestIHempExpo.com. Meanwhile, next month, Michigan Farm Bureau will host the MFB Hemp Conference for its members Tuesday, February 4th at the MSU Livestock Pavilion in East Lansing.
There was a lot of interest from our members across the state in hemp. We actually started a task force because we had so much interest. We had a lot of policy discussion on hemp. So we decided that probably one of the best ways we could serve our members would be to put on a conference to really give them some information and education. So we have Gina Alessandri from the Department of Agriculture coming in to talk about kind of the status of licensing and regulations and where we're at. We have Michigan State University. They're going to talk about what research they did this past year, kind of the results of that. From our Farm Bureau Insurance folks, we have someone coming to talk about risk management and what options are available to growers of hemp. And then we have someone coming in from Kentucky who is a grower as well as works for a company that does some processing, and he's going to talk about kind of the lessons learned down there because Kentucky's been growing hemp longer than we have. So kind of where they're at and what they've learned and kind of things he can share and some wisdom he can provide. And then we're also going to have a panel of producers to talk about what they learned this year in our state, and a panel of processors talking about different options and kind of what they're figuring out and what they need from farmers and growers for the hemp that they want to process. This is open to members that are interested in hemp. You don't have to already be growing it or processing it. Just anyone who's interested in learning about hemp, maybe they want to see how it fits into their farm, or maybe they want to diversify, or they just have questions. It's open to them. It's $50 to attend for members, and then online registration's available till the 20th of January.
You must be a Michigan Farm Bureau member to attend, and registration is due online by January 20th. In other hemp news, Michigan is among 21 states included in the USDA's Risk Management Agency's pilot crop insurance program for hemp growers. In selected counties, the pilot insurance program will provide actual production history coverage under 508H multi-peril crop insurance for eligible producers. The MPCI coverage is for hemp grown for fiber, grain, or CBD oil for the 2020 crop year. It is in addition to the whole farm revenue protection coverage available to hemp growers announced earlier this year. In addition, beginning with the 2021 crop year, hemp will be insurable under the Nursery Crop and the Nursery Value Select pilot crop insurance programs.
If you want a car from a company that's been building them for 115 years, get a Ford. If you want a car with driver assist technology, get a Ford. You're gonna want a Ford.
The 7th annual Joint Convention and Trade Show for the state's corn, soybean, and wheat checkoffs kicks off at the end of the month. This year's Great Lakes Crop Summit will be held January 29th and 30th at the Soaring Eagle Casino and Resort in Mount Pleasant, Michigan.
This year we're doing just a little bit different. We're probably a little bit less on agronomy, but we are more onto weather. We do have a keynote speaker coming in to talk about the weather and the impacts, the historical weather, just how the earth rotates, kind of give us a little more in depth about how weather works. We're also will have more farm business. We'll also have something that many producers are going through with farm stress and how to handle that. We'll also go with the typical agronomy with fertility, weed control, with compaction issues, and then finishing off a little bit with technology. There is a trade show that's associated with this, and so a lot of your local vendors will be there. It's a good time to be able to come in and talk to them one-on-one, find out some new innovative products that they may have, and just interact. Part of this whole thing is the interaction with other farmers, and you gain a lot more from other farmers as well as hearing from the agronomists or the salespeople that are there.
Registration for the event can be completed at GreatLakesCropSummit.com or by calling the Michigan Corn Office.
Start the new decade on solid ground. Foster Swift's Ag Law Group offers comprehensive legal services for producers and agribusinesses. Learn more at fosterswift.com.
A project that includes 2 new dairy processing facilities in St. John's was recently recognized by the Mid-America Economic Development Council as the Economic Impact Deal of the Year. The Economic Impact Deal of the Year recognizes a project having significant and measurable economic impact on a city, county, or region. The 146-acre dairy processing facility is expected to create as many as 259 new jobs and process more than 8 million pounds of milk per day. According to economic development officials, creation of this dairy processing campus will result in one of the largest value-added agriculture projects in Michigan's history. And now with a look at the latest market activity, here is Michigan Ag Commodities' Chris Betts.
Thanks, Janelle. The last 2 weeks of holiday trading have had a firmer tone. Trade optimism has lent support as President Trump announced he will sign the Phase 1 trade deal on January 15th, as well as travel to Beijing himself to further talks on a later date. South American weather has been a little more mixed, which have also lent support, but market focus is shifting to the January WASDE report due out on Friday the 10th. The tone figures remain firm heading into the report, although lingering questions of demand will cap potential rallies. Still, talk to your local merchant to have targets in place. For more market information, go to michag.com. With Michigan Agricultural Commodities, I'm Chris Betts.
For more news and video, visit MichiganFarmNews.com and the Michigan Farm Bureau channel on YouTube. With Farm News 5, I'm Janelle Brose. Have a great week of farming.